Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The topic is the same, the religious scholars, and we are going to discuss the next religious scholar of that time. We have already discussed about the two previous scholars, Shah Waliullah Rahmatullah Alayh and Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about Haji Shariatullah Rahmatullah Alayh, who was born in 1781 in Faridpur. His father was an ordinary farmer, and at the age of 18 years he went for Hajj in 1799. He stayed in Saudi Arabia and received his religious education there. Muslims living in poor conditions in Bengal were greatly influenced and motivated by his leadership. During his stay in Arabia, he was greatly influenced by Sheikh Muhammad Abdul Wahab, who had initiated the Wahhabi movement in Arabia. The purpose of initiating these movements, like for Shah Waliullah, Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi and now Haji Shariatullah, they all wanted all the Muslims to be practicing, like they must practice the teachings of Islam. So Haji Shariatullah, the main aim and objective of Haji Shariatullah was also to Muslim to be on the right path. As Haji Shariatullah Rahmatullah Alayh believed that the Muslim community had moved away from the teachings of Islam and their influence from other religions such as Hinduism, he wanted the Muslim community to return to the farais, to the obligations, to the proper observation of Islamic practice. He realized that the miserable conditions of Muslims have led the country being Darul Harb, area where non-Muslims rule. Now he supported the idea of jihad against the non-Muslims who were undermining the true principles of Islam. Haji Shariatullah knew that the Muslims had been the ruling class in Bengal, but when the British took over, they worked with the local land owners, zamindars, who were mainly Hindus. So Muslims were living in poor conditions and they were given fewer opportunities for jobs. He wanted to restore their pride. He started a movement in the 19th century named as the Faraisi movement for the Muslims in Bengal. The movement was targeted to restore the pride of the Muslims and to remove what he thought were the Hindu practices. Haji Shariatullah urged from his followers to adopt Tawbah for past sins and a pledge to lead a righteous, that is in accordance with Islam and its teachings. The Faraisi movement provided a platform to Muslims to work together and fight the bad treatments of Hindu zamindars, and one of the most important part of his reform would be to follow the religious obligations of a true Muslim. Now the landlords or the zamindars, which were Hindus, they did not want Haji Shariatullah creating difficulties for them and were very alarmed that the Muslim cultivators were uniting in a desire to improve their lives and purify their religion. So they drove Haji Shariatullah out of the region to Nawabganj in Dhaka district, and over there he died in 1840. Now his work was continued after the death by his son Mohsinuddin Dadu Mian. He introduced the important economic measures for the Muslims. Now he continued the work, but after the death of Mohsinuddin in 1860, the Faraisi movement declined. At the end of the topic, I just wanted to conclude it by the Faraisi movement, which was an influential for a number of reasons. It gave the encouragement to the Muslims at that time. It brought a spiritual revival which led to a revival in the Islamic religion. It also had an important political and economic impact. It might be said that some of the seeds of the Pakistan movement were sown by the Faraizi movement. Jazakumullah.